Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 25th of January, and golf selections for the Farmers Insurance Open that does actually start on Wednesday, the 25th of January as well. I am Flat Cap Callum, and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. The start of the channel week officially. We're in the comments Monday, Tuesday. We're on the vids Tuesday night. We are back. I mean, to be honest, for those loyal followers, I was half tempted to not do a video. Just put tips in the comments because that's going a lot better at the moment. If I seem to do on a video, it's definitely less good. Yeah, we've got quite a bit to cover for today's video. Not masses on actual horse racing tips for Wednesday to flag. So I've only found two races I like on Wednesday. The obvious one, which is the Fairyhouse handicap, is about 18 runners with a few reserves in there. A fairly obvious one, not masses of great stuff for value, but it's 100% is the best race to have a bet on. But I also like the 8 o'clock Kempton for value, and two particularly. So I've literally got a combination double bet with some singles on the bigger prices for Wednesday. So it's the 353 Fairyhouse, 8 o'clock Kempton. So that is coming up. I need to do a review of Friday and Saturday, a proper one. Didn't do any bets on Sunday. I need to do a review of the comments. And then after I've done the review and after I've done the horse racing bets, I have got golf this week. And the history of golf in this channel has not been favourable. I failed to land anything particularly decent. We had a few wins last year. Our 80 to 1 winner was the best one. And I particularly remember a day, early doors, we had 90 to 1, 125 to 1 both place in the same tournament. But yeah, on the whole, golf has not been kind. I'm only doing golf when I like it, and I do like it this weekend. I do like the golf. The problem is I can say I like the golf, but it's not been kind. So you know, the way that I'm doing the golf this year is I will pick and choose the weekends that I like it, but I'll also be very specific and advise which bookmakers to put what bets on with. So I've got in essence it's three versions of three different types of bet for the golf. One bit for Coral, one bit for 365, and one bit for Sky. So it's going to be bookie specific, and they're kind of out there. I'm not going to be diligently recording all of the stats for these. I also need to cover off the tennis as well, because we did finish off the tennis. So very quickly on the tennis, the last few bets I put out for the tennis were poor, and yeah, basically it come a cropper because there were so many blinking upsets at the end of last week, when normally that happens in the first couple of rounds. So. Didn't go well on the golf. So I think overall, if you followed all the golf bets, I think you'd probably be down about £2 or £3. I don't think no one's going to lose any sleep over it. But we didn't make any profit on the golf despite all the numerous free bets and whatnot. Okay, let me breeze through then. So we had Friday, which I didn't go through in detail, but we got about just over half stake back. There was bits, but not a lot. We had that bet for Friday. Anyone might remember. It weren't very good. And then we had this bet for Friday, and we had Mottawatsi and Oranmore both place. Apologies if there's some background noise, my boiler's just kicked in. Bet 3, this started off nicely. Calcutta Dream went and won. We had that 7 to 1 on the channel. Couldn't get a dicky bird with it though, could we? So that wasn't very good. Bet 4, Sunk, Angel Above ran a great race, won, that's 16 to 1. Gobi Star was placed 18s after getting backed in. Golden Forest was the wrong one round in that bet. If we'd done Oranmore, same trainer, same race, would have been a different story, but we got a place in the single. And then combination bet was poor, just had Oranmore place, so nothing back there. So that was, I think, 30 on 16.29 back. And then Saturday, I wish I had not bothered making any effort to do a video while I was away, because it was all a bit poor. So we had this bet, and I think we struck out completely on that one. So that wasn't a great start. And then we had this, and we only could get last leg Sarah's Verst placed, so that was not great. And then this one, we just had Beautiful Crown, which was fourth for most bookies, and it was the horse of the day on the freebets.com video. So if you did freebets.com video, you got just over half back off the £10 stake there. But on main channel, it was like £1 something back off £20. So it was poor. So we ended up losing the week, even though we had that good Thursday. We ended up being down 13.83. I've got it as. which means we've lost all week so far in January on the channel bets. And we are down 2 pence shy of £78, I think it is. So it's almost 4 days stake. The frustration is, I guess for me, being honest, is if all people are doing is following the channel, then they are down. If they've been following in the comments and following freebets.com videos, either or of those, they would be up for January. So it's not like I kind of regret what I've done and when I haven't made a video. It's just that's the way it's worked out. But yeah, for the comments for this week, it's third week in a row where I've put out some profitable stuff in the comments. So I put out no tips for Sunday, no tips for Monday. And then for Tuesday, if you're watching this, that's today, or if you're watching it on Wednesday, it was yesterday. For Tuesday, I put out four horses and a lucky 15 at Southwell. I did say I didn't think much of Down Royal because I thought it was a bit inconsistent. Karen's Gift went and won nicely, 14-1, I think 16-1, something like that. I know there was a few in the channel comments. I saw, I think Gareth and Shane and Susan all picked it up. For me, I looked at it and it definitely was the horse in the race with the most value, but I don't think I'd have put it on. It wouldn't have. It just would have just fallen under my threshold for a channel selection due to the massive inconsistency of the horse. So it would need to have been a few points higher for me to have put it on. So it's not one miss to the channel, but well done to everyone who put it on. And then I put 4 at Southwell. The first one wasn't very good, Final Frontier, but the next 3, for most bookies, it placed. So How Bizarre, 33s last night, that was massively backed in. I think 10-11-1 was the SP, but I think most people would have got maybe 28s, 25s at least. But not all bookies paid 4th place on that one. And then we had Mabia, which got done on the line, put out on the channel like 22s. You could have got bigger than that at places last night and this morning, and then it drifted a bit in. And then the last one, Miss Harmony, I think it might have been called, that ran a nice race and was 3rd. So it was a place treble. So if you got the odds last night that I put on the comments for Sky Bet, I think it was 6 on, it would have been 57 quid back. But it will vary around. But hopefully if anyone did those and they did it within reasonable time, it would have paid about at least 40 quid back for that, for £6 bet. So yeah, if you've done the comments this week, you're in a good place. So that's that. So I think, if I check myself there, I've done Friday, I've done Saturday, I've done the comments, I've mentioned about the tennis, I've done the stats. I guess, yeah, overall, just before I do Wednesday's bets, the thing that's frustrating me most is I'm not fussed about like how many likes or how many subscribers and all that sort of stuff. I'm here to, I exist to show people a different path, and I know that a lot of people have benefited from the channel. And a lot of people have changed the way they're betting, and that means that's the most. It doesn't matter whether you follow my tips or not. Actually, taking some stuff on board that I'm trying to say and trying to do. If you can make money doing what you're with some of the things I say, then brilliant. I really like that's. You don't need my tips if you can work out how to do it yourself. That's great, but when it goes badly on the channel, and the stats aren't good, because I'm so open, and it's completely the right way to be about the stats, people do lose confidence, and not everybody, and most people were sticking with it, but there'll be people that lose confidence, and when people lose confidence, they'll start going around looking on YouTube and finding some of the other people out there. And I'm not fussed if it's someone like Jeff off of Glorious Uncertainty, because he's doing things the right way, and he's making some money, he's got a nice system. I don't mind that. It's when people are on places and they're spouting off stuff about made-up statistics. All the statistics on here are fully trackable, and you can quote me on all of them. I'm not going to sit here and go, I've got a 42% strike rate when I haven't. This year it's 29% strike rate, win or place. And I know that because I've tracked every single horse. It's there. I know. Win or place, 29%. That is actually a real figure. I'm not making stuff up. I'm not going to make up the average price winner on my channel is X odds. It's just nonsense, and it just frustrates me, because I'm trying to help people, and when it's going badly for profit loss stats, even though long term it's fine, it gets me, because I think just people get conned by stuff, and there's a bunch of cons out there. There's other channels out there that do things the right way and make profit, and there's most that don't, and yeah, just. look at the figures. That's all I'm saying. Ask for figures. What do the figures say? Okay, so Wednesday's bet after all that preamble. 10 minutes in. Do you want to bet? Like, I know some people just are now... They've even just turned off and disliked the video because I've waited 10 minutes to give them the actual bet. I feel like a different channel all of a sudden. That, you know, I'm giving you 10 minutes of preamble before I actually tell you anything. So here we go. I'm just going to get on with it. This is it. This is what I got. 353 Fairyhouse. Most major bookies online are paying 5. 8 o'clock Kempton. Most major bookies online paying 4. So the advice is 365 Paddy Coral. Somewhere where you're getting bog is best to place this rather than Sky. If all you've got Sky, same place terms, you just won't get bog. I think that might matter less for those. For these ones, possibly. So my main focus here is the 8 o'clock Kempton. I like those two horses at those prices. I think they're great. But 353 Fairyhouse, I've kind of made the best of what I've got there. So we've got Robin Devon Star 12s and Get a Clan 14s. And then going on to 8 o'clock Kempton, Uther Pendragon and Moonlit Cloud, both 28s. The two rank outsiders in the 8 o'clock Kempton, which are both overpriced. Both got decent enough form that they should be a much shorter price than that. It's a hard one to split. They're different profile horses as well. Uther Pendragon's been around a long time, runs fairly consistently, never too far away, but it does not run the odd bad race. Moonlit Cloud looks progressive to me. If you ignore I think it's a race it did at Chelmsford where it ran a donkey race, the other 3 races around it tell you it's got a progressive profile. Maybe it just didn't like Chelmsford, which some horses won't. So yeah, I think both should be shorter. Moonlit Cloud should be shorter than Uther Pendragon. So Moonlit Cloud at 28s, I think is slightly better than Uther Pendragon at 28s. That makes sense. So it's 4 times 25p each way doubles. So all combination of doubles, and then we're going 3 times 50p each way singles. I might live to regret it, but I've put it on the bigger price, Get a Clan. I didn't bother singling Robin Devon Star. Originally when I started looking it was only 10s, it's gone out to 12s. I've basically put the single on that one because it's really important I get the singles on those for this kind of bet. So £5 is all we've got. That is the one and only bet for Wednesday. That's that. And then if you want the golf, stay on the line. If you don't want the golf, have a lovely day. I'll be back tomorrow night with making do with what else we've got left. But yeah, Wednesday's normally a good one and it's not so much. So yeah, we'll see what we can find for Thursday. Fingers crossed Cheltenham's on Saturday because now we've got an extra races in there. It should be a good meeting. So we're focusing on that hopefully on Saturday. So golf. I will do the easy bit and then I'll get in the slightly more complicated bit. In total, the advice is an £8 if you're keeping in line with channel stakes. It's an £8 advisory for the golf across 3 different bookmakers. Not everyone's going to have access to bookmakers and not all bets are placeable in elsewhere. So I'll explain as I go. This is not the most exciting bet. It's a 365 bet only. So I haven't found a major bookie elsewhere that will actually... give you the odds for the right markets on here. So it's the Dubai Desert Classic tournaments. This is the European tour. Doesn't start till Thursday, so you've got time to put this on. But yeah, a double. I tried to do a Trixie and it wouldn't let me. Apparently you can't combine the top Finnish player with the top Austrian player. I don't understand how that's a conflict of interest, but it wouldn't let me. So yeah, we just got a nice double. So top Australian Jason Scrivener. There are only 3 or 4 players in each of these markets. I can't remember which round it is, but there's 3 or 4 players in the Australian players. Jason Scrivener 7-2. I think it's decent odds. That should be. I don't know. I'd have them both about 6-4. That just to give you a bit of an idea of how much value I see in both. So I would have both these about 6-4 in those markets. The Jason Scrivener 7-2, and then top Finnish player. So from Finland. Kali Samuja. I've no idea if I've said that right. 3-1. It's a £1 win double, 365. So in line with channel stake, that would be what I would do. You do what you want with it, but in terms of channel stake, that would be the equivalent. It's a £1 win double. So if they both win, I think it returns 17, or I think it's 17 to 1. I think it's 18 quid back, something like that. So yeah, they need to come top in their category. So they technically could miss the cut and still come top in their category. So we'll have a look. And then onto the main bit, which is complicated because there's 2 parts to it, and I'm hoping the colours flag up on the screen. Okay, so I'll put it up so you've got plenty of time to absorb, and I'll explain. So there is a singles part to this bet, which I've put on one bookmaker advisory, and a doubles part, which I've put on another bookmaker advisory. So there are 6 players in total, 4 in the Farmers Insurance that starts Wednesday. I haven't seen the tee times yet, but I would imagine it might be starting about lunchtime Wednesday. It could be late morning on Wednesday, so you want to get it on. So there's the Farmers Insurance, and then 2 at the Dubai Desert Classic, one of whom is in the 365 bet. So what we've got here is in the first column, the odds in blue. This is Coral Advisory, and this is the doubles part of it. So Coral, unusually, have got some interesting terms on the golf. So they are offering 10 places on both these 2 tournaments. That is quite rare for kind of decent enough, but not top, not one of the majors tournaments. And the odds aren't too much shorter. So 10 places on both those tournaments. Some place like Sky will give you extended places, but then you can't always put them in multiples and stuff, and they make it more difficult. So it's a bit of a rarity on Coral. I'm interested to see if they're going to do this more regularly, but they are 10 places on both, and you're not losing tons of value, because it would be lovely if you clearly got 2 winners, but I'm happy to sort of sacrifice basically the win double part of it, like you're losing out a lot of value there, for the place part of it, which is much more likely when you've got basically 10 places in each tournament as opposed to 8 in one and 7 in the other, which is the best you would get with Sky. So I've done it as advisory, 8 times 10p each way doubles with Coral. So that's both those tournaments to 10 places. That's their standard terms for this week's tournaments. So you've got Ryan Palmer, Patrick Rogers, Robbie Shelton, Michael Thompson. Don't get it mixed up with Davis Thompson, who's much shorter odds. Michael Thompson. And then the Dubai Desert, we've got Kali Samuja and Ashen Wu. So all Americans, and then we've got a Finnish and a Chinese player there. They're 80s, 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 175, 150 and 80 to 1. That's Coral. The other part is singles, and there might be possibly odd bookmakers where it's slightly better, but just for simpletons, overall Sky are best for the singles. So I've done it as 45p each way singles advisory. So Sky are 8 on the Farmers Insurance and 7 on the Dubai Desert Classic. So for the Farmers Insurance, you've got Ryan Palmer at 100, Patrick Rogers at 100, Robbie Shelton at 125 and Michael Thompson at 250 to 1. And the Dubai Desert Classic, 200 for Kali Samuja and 100 for Ashen Wu. Clearly, if we get any sort of result, I'll be absolutely delighted, because I need one to land for the golf. But yeah, 100%, I'll be honest with you and say the golf bets on the channel didn't go well last year, so we're well behind. But yeah, likewise, I mean, if you get a player in each in the top 7 and you could have got better odds of Sky, so be it. But I'm taking a little bit of a lower risk and taking out a little bit of the value, because I still think there's value in those prices at those place terms. So that is it. £7 advisory in total, £1 with 365, so it's an £8 total if you were doing all of the golf, if you've got access to all 3 of those bookmakers. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, very small bet for Wednesday's horses, and then I've actually got more on the golf for this week. So yeah, it would be lovely to get a good start and get most of these players making the cut, at least to give us something to go into the weekend to look for. And yeah, all right, that is me. But yeah, let's get another blinking result. I was going to say that earlier on in the video. I did look back at the stats in more detail for last January, just to sort of see how we're comparing. And it was a struggle last January, like it's been this January. And there was odd days where we were picking up £40-50 wins, but lots of sort of losses. I think the thing that's making the difference here is some of those odd days of wins may well have fallen when on the Mondays and Tuesdays I've not done the videos, which is unfortunate. But also some of the lost days have been a bit heavier than we had last January. So we didn't win anything big in last January. It wasn't till towards the end of February did I hit my first £100 day. It's hard to come by in January because you've got less runners, less meetings, less field sizes, all that jazz. So I'm hopefully I'm not making excuses. I'm just being real with honest statistics. So yeah, we were 40-50 quid was the best days we picked up in January. So we will muddle through for the last whatever it is, 7 days. So yeah, is that right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we've got till Sunday, haven't we? Because if I'm not doing any vids on Monday or for Monday Tuesday racing, then yes, this must be it. Sunday must be the last day of the month for the channel. So we've got 5 days to see if we can do something to make the stats look a little bit better. All right. I will leave my marathon video there. You have a lovely day. I'll be back tomorrow night where we will be battling on again to see what else we can try and dig out from somewhere. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.